Thank you, Chair. I'll direct my questions to Statistics Canada. And the broad topic is, as a legislator, trying to understand the data on which the government is using to set immigration levels, which I now understand will be embedded within the budget, the federal budget this year. To either rep from StatsCan, does your agency track how many temporary residents, I suppose you use the term non-permanent residents, does your agency track how many non-permanent residents access health care on an annual basis?
Merci pour la question.
Thank you for that question. Well, first thing, Stats Canada uses quarterly surveys, and we use it by different departments, including IRCC, to respond to certain needs. We provide this information to the public in Canada, and
if you could answer, do you track how many non-permanent residents access Canadian health care or health care in Canada on an annual basis?
Nous avons des différentes statistiques sur la...
We have different statistics on health, hospitalization rates for various categories of the population. And in Statistics Canada, we don't have data available on the costs incurred for these services.
How many non-permanent residents access health care? Like just numbers?
No, I don't.
You don't.
J'ai pas ces chiffres-là.
Okay, it took me 2 minutes to get there.
No, we don't have those numbers.
How many births occur to non-permanent residents on an annual basis?
Les décès des résidents non permanents sont inclus aux estimations démographiques, oui.
So, sorry, the translation didn't come through. Can we pause?
Births from non-permanent residents are included in demographic estimates, yes.
In estimates?
And in the birth recorded in Canada every year.
Okay, so, and for non-permanent residents, this would be not visitors to Canada, this would be, okay.
Exact.
How many births occurred to non-permanent residents in the last year?
J'ai pas le chiffre en tête actuellement.
I don't have the number offhand, but I can't give you the information. Yes, we'll follow up with that. Yes, we will.
Do you track how many individuals are currently in Canada on an expired work permit or visa?
Le nombre précis, non.
For a specific number, no. But people who are in the process of renewing these work permits are part of the calculation.
Or on an expired work. A recent Sun article discussed that Canada's population growth might be 3 times higher than Ottawa has estimated because a large number of people who were supposed to be in Canada or leave the country aren't being tracked. How hard would it be for your agency to get a list of expired permits from IRCC each week and run it against your entry and exit system?
La base de données d'entrée...
The in-country, out-of-country is a Statistics Canada. We do receive IRCC on a monthly basis, but weekly we don't have an agreement with between StatsCan and IRCC.
There was an article on Blog Toronto. It cited a video that you were in that you said Canada's population is skyrocketing to 42 million people. Based on your analysis, does Canada have the adequate infrastructure to accept a continued level of temporary residence that we've seen in recent year? And by infrastructure, I'm talking particularly about housing and healthcare. And how would you know?
Je peux répondre à cela que la croissance démographique du Canada...
The population growth in Canada 23 to 24 was almost 3%, which is quite high when we compare that to other countries, which is a big challenge for the infrastructure in health and housing in Canada.
A lot of analysis suggests that wage growth for temporary residents is quite a bit lower than permanent residents. Would that be a correct assessment? based on your analysis?
Je ne pourrais pas confirmer cette affirmation.
Well, I
Ce que je
can't confirm that, but we know that between 2020 and 2021, immigration numbers was in fact decreasing.
Continued, based on that extrapolation, if Canada continued to accept high levels of temporary residents or residents that are unable to get credentialed, would that continue to be a drag on wages and as such economic growth?
Je ne pourrais pas répondre à cette question-là. Ce que je
Well, I
peux
really
dire,
can't answer that question, but the number of non-permanent residents which are admitted to Canada has been falling for the last 3 quarters, which, of course, modifies the proportion.
Like year over year, or perhaps not year over year, but they're high for what Canada can support. So if we have a delta, as your analysis suggests, between wage growth for temporary residents and a delta on per capita GDP growth, has the government asked you for any advice on how to model out whether or not the Canadian economy does actually benefit from this bit of a myth that we need high levels of immigration to sustain economic growth?
That's time. A very quick response, please.
on n'a pas eu de requête en ce sens. Ce que je
We
peux
haven't
dire,
had
c'est que
any
la-
requests for that, but the demographic growth in Canada has slowed considerably over the last 3 quarters. And if we extrapolate that over years, the population might fall. This particular group of population might be less than 1.5% compared to 2024, which was 3%.